Listen to me. Listen to me. You think it's easy? It's not easy. What do you think, huh? What do you think the ice people do? Not my house. Not in my backyard. This is the ice people's house now. Only here in America. All I do is think about this. You call me Mr. Ice. I don't like it.
Welcome. 300 seconds with Mr. Ice. Let me get right to it. I've got some exciting news for you hockey fans. I've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook to help you bring the ultimate game day experience. Imagine this. You're a new customer, you deposit a minimum of $5, and you place your initial bet. Well, if that bet doesn't hit, no sweat. You get a bonus back in the amount of your original bet, up to $1,000. Just download the DraftKings app and sign up using my promo code Elio. The crown is yours. Welcome here, Mr. Murls. How are we doing, bud?
Doing good. Love that ad read by you.
I'm good. I think I'm good. I don't know if I'm good. But listen, you bet $1,000 and you lose and then you get it back. Where else on the planet can that happen?
The no sweat bet at DraftKings. Nothing better. I love that we're back with a sports book because now I can put that line and it's everywhere. Like you can get that line. I don't have to hear these commenters like, oh, that's not the line. I saw this line. Where'd you get that one? Like,
the public. Done. You got to love the public, right?
All my lines on Twitter. They're from DraftKings Sportsbook.
That's it. DraftKings. One place. You are the hottest gambler this side of the Mississippi last weekend. All I saw was check mark. What happened?
Swept the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, swept the board. Unbelievable. It was all from game notes on Friday, our trade center show that went crazy. And then I even added a European play on Sunday just to even keep it going. Last night wasn't great. Our Bruins no-showed us. Other than that, it could have been another good night, but they no-showed. But yeah, things are good. And like I always say, when you see those green check marks, that's when you ride. That's when you jump on board and let it go.
Well, I saw the weekend, all of a sudden I see check mark. Basically like 9-0.
Yeah, and most of them were no sweat. No, like it was 4-0. It was 5-1. It was very, very simple day, which I like.
Well, one of the reasons I had you on today, or I want you on as much as I can, is I need to get some of that energy from you. Because all my game, there's nothing but sweats on my games right now. I mean,
I know. I've been on them. I've been with you.
You get 4-0 in the first period, and then you don't sniff a goal for a while. Like we're fighting over here. We're fighting. Anyway, we have some questions, PJ. Let's get into those first.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to be concerned about the Bruins going out in the first round? Because I'm concerned.
Murls, what do you think?
No concern as long as they're still matched up with Toronto Maple Leafs. They own them. You saw it again this weekend. They have their number. They own them. Comes to playoffs, they own them even more. So as long as that stays the same, they don't have to see Florida in the first round. You're safe.
Yeah, I don't see how it's going to jump. Right? It's pretty much set unless somehow Boston gets over Florida, but I don't think that's going to happen either.
Yeah, you should be all right, and that's going to be awesome. Toronto, Boston, you'll have Biz versus RA. It's going to be great.
What team has the brightest future? Also, not hockey related. Are you ever going to release your 3, 4, 5, or 6 on the weekends for the Ponies?
My 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know what does that mean, Murls?
I don't know. You got to pick 3 or pick 4. So you do those.
Okay.
Pick 6.
Yeah, I'll give it out after the first race. I don't want you guys all jumping on board and ruin my payoffs. As far as the best team or underrated team, what about Minnesota the other night? Was that cool?
That was awesome.
I need you to explain me the rule because I don't what is the benefit of them pulling the goalie? Tell me what I don't get it.
So you obviously can make it 4-on-3, and if say you think you're not a good shootout team,
that's what it is.
That would be one reason.
Okay,
but I think Minnesota's main reason was they knew those 4 guys on a 4-on-3, and the other thing that a lot of people didn't notice is that the guys Nashville had out there are not normal penalty killers because they're usually playing 3-on-3 trying to score. So you had Forsberg, you had Nyquist. I don't know who the D was. So they weren't ready to know how to play a 4-on-3. They were probably a little tired. So this started in Russia. Sergei Fedorov did it first in the KHL. And then my team in Sweden, Timra, did it twice last year. And the way they would do it is they would circle the zone for a while and wear the team down.
Yeah, smart.
And then they would pull them because they couldn't get to the far bench. So that was kind of what happened. And then when the way the coach on Minnesota says, he's like, I have those 4 skilled players.
Yeah.
I was taking my chance. And if they got scored on, they would have lost the 1 point. But
so they don't even get a point?
If they got scored on with the goalie out.
That's great. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, obviously it worked out, but that's wow.
He's like, we need 2 points. He probably didn't feel good about the shootout for whatever reason. And he's just like, I'm going to put my money on my 4 best players in a real advantage of like situation there.
Well, I will say that I really feel like that will get them going too. Now, I feel like they got some huge momentum. So that it ended up working out, but so they would have lost the point if they got scored upon.
Yeah. So it could have been really ugly. And then imagine they missed the playoffs later on by 1.
Yeah, by a point. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. That was impressive. But I got a little note on the Wild for later. I got to ride that now.
Do you think the Canes are a serious cup contender after the moves that they made?
Murls, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they are. I think it's different than these other years. Now they got Gensel, who's a big-time goal scorer in the big moments. He's been there. The Kuznetsov one, I mean, that guy's been there too. If he finds that form, if he can get going and he needs to have 15, 16 good games. And that's another huge addition. Their D, we already know about. Anderson came back, has looked great since he's come back. So they're good. It's just going to be if they can get past Florida.
Yeah, they have to get past Florida, and they have to. These guys got to show up in the playoffs scoring. They have to score because we know they can play D. We know that they can kill penalties. We know that they can grind it out, but their problem has been scoring. They can't. You got to score 3 goals in the playoffs, 4 goals, and that's the problem they've had. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Maybe like this Gensel and Kuznetsov. I mean, they don't have to light it up, but they'll draw maybe a D matchup that opens it up a little bit more for the other guys, Aho, Svechnikov, or vice versa. It's just they got so many weapons now. It's a better team than before.
Can you believe was it Svechnikov? He's only got like 16 goals. How does that guy only have 16 goals?
Yeah, was he hurt this year or was that last year?
That was last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all right. Then he's going to get going. Save him for the playoffs. That's when it matters this time. No more regular season for your teams.
Exactly. Forget about the regular season.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Rempe's elbow the other night? Overall thoughts on the kid? Is he good for the game?
That was a cheap hit, huh?
Yeah, you can't do that.
I think he's getting a little bit overzealous now. McDermott should have beat him up the other night. The thing is, he should have fought McDermott right away. He asked him to go right away after he knocked out a guy. You've been fighting everybody else. Yeah.
And, you got to – I've agreed with everything he's done so far. I loved every minute of it. They've all been the one hit in Toronto's maybe a little offsides, but this one completely offside. You can't do that. And then if you do that, you better be fighting. So, like, soon as you make that hit, turn around, gloves off, be ready to answer the bell.
How many games is he going to get? Has it already been announced yet?
I think it's in a meeting right now. I think everyone's saying at least 2 to 4 games. He's a first-time offender, so
first-time offender, right? He's got to. If you're going to run around like that, you know you're going to have to drop him.
Yep.
That's it, PJ.
That's it.
Okay, four questions. Yeah. Murls, what are we thinking tonight? What are you looking at?
The questions led me right into my first 2 plays on here. So first one is the Canes. I got this one from Ryan Whitney this morning. He's all over it too. So Canes money line, it's a little steep, -166, but you're catching the Rangers on a back-to-back after an emotional game. Gensel's supposed to play. We saw that they were awesome. The Canes were awesome on Sunday. I think they had the first 18 shots in the game versus the Flames.
Yeah.
So they're going to be buzzing. Rangers are good too, but I like the Canes money line there, and I just think that's an easy one. Want to keep going and rip them out?
Yeah, whip them out.
My next one from the questions too, Minnesota Wild, 3-way, -125, playing the Yotes. The only time I think the Yotes have won is when I bet against them with Detroit. on Friday night. It's the only win they have in like 2 months. And that we just talked about, the Wild caught some magic with that thing. I think they come out again and they run right over the Yotes.
Well, I think Minnesota's been playing even before the game against Nashville. I thought they look real. That offense looks very good right now. Everything looks good for Minnesota. They're going to be. They might get in.
And they know they have to win. So you're going to get full focus right from the start. They're not going to mess around.
Yeah,
they're going to be ready. They'll be ready. Next one. You know where I'm going.
I had a feeling.
There it is, the Avs. We're going with the Avs. 3-way, -110. Calgary, they traded both their top 2 defensemen away. They looked horrendous on Sunday in Carolina. Think about that travel back from Carolina. They're going to be a handful. Lekkonen's out for the Avs, but you move Nichushkin up to the first line. I like him to score a goal tonight just because of that move. But I'm on the Avs big. That's probably my play of the day, the Avalanche.
Yeah, I actually really like Colorado too. I think so. The last game they won, I think 2-1. But I feel like some of the guys, they got to mesh a little bit. It maybe take a game or two. But I think tonight they're going to be ready to go. And you're right, with Calgary, they had been playing okay. It's just when your GM gives up on you, it hurts. And Carolina put the thump on them.
Ooh, yeah, they were good. And I got one last play. It's the late game because I'm going to be up. I'm in New York now, so I'm up for these late games. I love it. I get to watch all the games. Seattle, Vegas, tough game. So I'm just going to do an over because I got to do one over on 300 seconds with Mr. Ice. I'm doing over 2.5 shots on William Karlsson for Vegas.
Okay.
And that's going to just keep me up and keep me watching that late game.
What about IceCon? I mean, your other partners are going. What's going on?
I'm waiting for the call from Whitney. I just texted him this morning. I said, I'm going on this 300 seconds. I got to know if I'm going to IceCon. I got to commit live. So I didn't get an answer from him. So I guess you'll have to have me back next Tuesday to have a confirmation. But
okay, all the ice people are. Is Murls going? I'm going. Listen, those other guys are going. They better send Murls. Yeah. He's part of the show. He's part of the ice people. So. I'm hoping that you're going to be there. We're getting really excited. I leave Tuesday. I'm actually going to Miami with Dave. We're going to then we're going to fly out to Chicago. We're going to do some streams there. Basketball. I hope I don't lose all my money before the hockey.
That's what I'm afraid of too. Going to lose it all on Thursday, Friday.
Lose it. So I'm going to be in Chicago then we fly to Arizona, and then the shit show begins. Yeah,
I can't wait. I hope I make the roster. It's up to Whitney. Whitney's got to decide.
I'm going to text him after the show.
Maybe if his Carolina game comes through, then he's going to be able to get me out there.
They got plenty of money, Murls. Come on. These guys, they got plenty of money. I'm going to fight for it when I get off the phone. Well, thank you for coming on. Yep. I got one play. Let's hopefully get the momentum rolling a little bit before we go to the sunny state of Arizona. PJ, let's hit it.
Listen. I got one game. I got one huge game. I got Minnesota over 6.5. Minnesota over 6.5. Let's go.